Sports. Matchy gone? Oh. All right, well, then I'll show you this play at least. Matchy's seen it. Dude, this is how his Bears lost the game. After having come from behind, they were down 12-0. And then the Bears come back, take a 15-12 lead. So obviously the Commanders only need a field goal to tie it, but they don't get close to field goal range, so they have to do a Hail Mary. The Bears. Hold on, let's run it back real quick. This one Bears player, look at him. Look at him. Literally waving to the fans. Now keep in mind, this is a fan base and an organization that hasn't been good in a while, since the 80s, right? And they're not one of those annoying fan bases of like a team that used to be good and they still, like, they're not like the Cowboys or like who, you know what I mean? Obviously the Cowboys have been much better, even though they haven't won, than the Commanders. But anyways, it's not like their fan base deserves to be trolled. Like, nothing that I know about their fan base is like warrants this. So this man, look at it, waving bye to him. And he's doing it even after the play starts. Also, if you're gonna rush 4 people, rush 4 people. What's the spy doing here? You normally spy a quarterback like Jayden Daniels to in case there was like a potential for him to run. There is no potential for Jayden to run here. Like, there should be no spy. Also, that man right there, the Chicago Bears' highest paid defensive player and best, was gassed. The Bears have 3 timeouts. Your best defensive player is not in the game because he's exhausted. Maybe use one of your 3 timeouts to ensure big man is on the field. Gets him time to step into his throw. I mean, it's awesome for the Commanders, and they also have a rookie quarterback. This was a battle of like the number 1 quarterback, Caleb Williams, versus the number 2 quarterback. Matchy's back. Dude, I was just telling him that, like, you know, the Commanders aren't like that. They're not the fan base that deserves this. That's what's one thing that's weird. Also, why only rush 3? Because you have a spy. Like, look how little 53 here does. I don't know if you were here, Match, either. Not using one of your timeouts to get your best and highest paid defensive player on the field? Crazy. Okay, you heard it all, so I don't need to repeat it. 53, doing nothing. This is not the play you spy on. There's no threat of running. Like, look at 53. Just rush. Montez Sweat on the sideline. I think 93 is Montez Sweat, or is he 97? Anyways, one of the big 90s is their best defensive player, and he was tired. Understandably, gas, long game. Use a timeout. Get your best player on the pitch, on the field, on the gridiron. But here's the best part, Adlin. So there's one player who rises above the rest. There is one player who his job here is to just absolutely volleyball spike this ball into the ground. And he not only doesn't volleyball spike it in the ground, he actually tips it to make it an easier catch for the Commanders player. And you know who that player was? That guy. Yeah, and it makes the play before it even dumber, too. The fact that y'all gave up the 13-yard play to get them here so we can even potentially launch it. When all in scenarios like that, when a team has no timeouts and they're on their own like 35-yard line, you're taught defend the boundary, defend the boundary, defend the boundary. Even if you have to line up in like a U shape, you literally go horseshoe defense, right? Defend the boundary, tackle them in the field of play, defend the boundary. And on the play before, y'all gave up the free, like, oh, yep, we'll give them 13 yards and let them get out of bounds with 2 seconds left. So even going back to your the game is over the minute he crosses, I'm guessing that comment by you is in relation to me talking about you don't spy there because there's obviously no threat of him running. The clock would run out. So to follow up on that, it's like also the play before. So bad. Like look at Tyreek Stevenson. He's the one who swats it. Karma at its absolute worst. At TJ Edwards. Dude, look, Stevenson gets up too, man. He could have, like, if he actually is the one who swats it down successfully, again, I don't think the Washington Commanders or the organization nor the fan base that deserves that kind of shit talking, right? Unless they were giving him grief all game, I don't know. Um, Anywho, I don't, but if he would have volleyball chopped this into the ground, it makes his little shit talking a little, obviously it makes it more acceptable, but it kind of makes it a little more badass. But Karma is a massive bitch, but Flu said, nah, we got this. All 31 other head coaches would look at their formation. That's another thing. And I can't remember if it's on this one or the 13-yard play where Caleb Williams, the rookie quarterback, is gesturing to his defensive back like, you're too deep, you're too deep. And then it looks like Eberflus starts also saying you're too deep. I think it's on the 13-yard play right before this. Damn, the NFL official page, the most insane ending ever with all capitalized. Even the NFL has got the freaking Zoomer Gen Z like all caps stream or title with the hyperbole thrown in. This is crazy. And again, y'all fumbled at the goal line right before this. Being the organization that invented the fridge play. What's crazy is like, okay, when you sit there and you break down the fridge play, you're like, okay, here's the benefit. We get extra weight. We get a big, like, boom, right? Goal line. Well, okay, what's the downside? What's the potential downside? Well, you have a non-natural ball carrier, right? Having to take a handoff and secure it and have potential ball skills, right? And so you would in theory, the danger of that play going back to 1985 with William Perry in the fridge is that concept. Of all of the times, whether it's in college or in the NFL, where I've seen a team do the fridge play. For those that don't know, that's essentially taking a defensive tackle, or it's kind of evolved into offensive lineman. But basically, you take one of your big girthy lads, defensive lineman, usually a defensive tackle, or one of your offensive line, and you put him in the backfield, and you just give the 300-pound behemoth the ball in a short yardage situation. But of all of the times, the 80 plus times that I've seen teams do the fridge play, I think y'all's last night was the worst execution of it I've ever seen. I've seen it not get scored before, right? They get stuffed. You're like, damn, how the big man gets stuffed. I don't know if I've ever seen them just straight. But what's crazy is that should happen more, because that's one of your biggest concerns is the poor handoff, the poor quarterback to ball carrier exchange, right? But I don't know if I can't remember a time I've ever seen that. So it's just, I thought it was a coincidence that, or irony actually, that the team that invented the play and popularized it, maybe not invented it, but popularized it, is the one who got it the worst, the worst wrong. Oh, dude. Hold on. Damn, can we not just pull up the whole game here? This honestly needs to go back further. Because at the 6.5 minute mark is when that fumble happened. Hold on. Chicago Bears. Sorry, bud. It works. It will. I will say it does seem to work at an right. It not only does it score a lot, you often don't see the fumble. Like, again, if it doesn't score, it's because it's stopped. Usually, it's not because of the exchange, which you would think would happen more. And so when I saw that last night, it's one of those live. You don't actually see it really happen because it's also bang bang. And then the Commanders actually took the fumble all the way back to the crib, but He was down by contact. All right, let's get to. Oh, I almost perfectly did it, dude. Ads, 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 ads. Yo, this ads doxing people. Wait, nope, dude. I'm. This is not cool. Every time I try to change the time, it it needs a new ad. All right, I guess we need to get it right then. Get it right, get it tight. Here we go. All right, this is it. Please don't add me again. Don't do it. Dude, but when I DM'd you or whispered whatever it is, Matchy, I said something like Caleb Magic. It's because he had one of his Mahomes play where he boom breaks, boom, has to scramble to the right, and historically you're taught as a quarterback never to throw across, never throw back across the field, never throw against the grain. If you go all the way to the right, don't throw it. But as quarterbacks' arms talents got bigger and bigger and bigger, and Mike Vick started to do it, and whoever, right, it became thing. Now it's almost like an actual play that's not bad when it's done right. Now you still don't want to roll all the way to the right and throw left of the left hash mark. But like the Mahomes and Kelsey one is where like basically the further right Mahomes drifts, Travis Kelsey will almost mirror it, right, and kind of just like linger a bit. So then Mahomes can like go to the touch, like the in out of bounds line, and then just kind of like reverse it. It's actually not a full throwback across the field. It's just so. Anyways, Caleb had that on this drive. It was a filthy play on, I want to say on a 3rd and 5 or 2nd and 6, and he rolls out and he hits Cole Kmet. But this is where yep. And see, and like you don't think it's a fumble, then they're like, "Oh, go with it." And so big man, they make big man run 100 yards. Poor guy, but he is 100% down by contact. The thing is, your big guy never even got the exchange. Caleb kind of went too high. You're not supposed to put it at the titty. Warzone time. Who you playing Warzone with? If you're still there, Adam. Dude, I thought he almost died. Your lineman, oh, they don't show a replay of it. When he gets in the pile, he gets bent back. So first off, you don't even see it the way the pile is. So under my knuckles is his lower half, right? You do not see his lower half essentially because of the pile. And you see the man get bent and bent and bent, and he's eventually past that like 180 degree or whatever that would be. And you're just like, and thankfully his legs weren't more caught up in the pile or, dude, yeah, it was gross. He was just absolutely bent back. You know the old Mongolian torture technique where they would like draw and core you, and or I guess it wasn't just Mongolian, but they definitely did it. Where you would get horses and you would rope the limbs of people and you would pull them apart. Um, I would hardly call that a run back. Well, the big man jogged. He definitely did a quite. It might be a soft J. It might be yogging. But anyways, the court. Like I imagine your lineman getting. It was gross. Johnny Knox injury, not Johnny Knoxville from Jackass. So, anyways, that wasn't a fumble return. It was a fumble, so it became the ball, Commander's ball at like the 2 yard line. And then the Bears defense does well initially. Just didn't get it, dude, by an inch maybe. Zip, great ball. Great ball. Dunze looking better and better each week. I mean, he was already looking incredible even in college, but maybe this one. This is no. Here's the Mahomes magic play. This is it. I was right about the distance. Oh, okay, this was it. I was there. I got a little bit right. I was like, it's a 3rd and 5 or a 2nd and 6. It's close. It wasn't the tight end this time. It was Keenan Allen. But hold on, I'm actually worried about ads. But again, Caleb, step back, roll out, hits Keenan Allen. I love that throw to you. Talking, wait, love that throw to. I know there's a delay to Adunze. The Adunze one's the better throw. Boom, hits the last step of his drop. Ball placement perfect because it not only takes Adunze upfield, it also protects him from the big hit. And then that one, cooler looking play, not as good of a throw, but it's a good quarterback play, right? The touch pass, the one to Adunze. No, you're talking about the one to Keenan, the touch pass. But yeah, I like both are good. I think the better one, the one you want to see more often, is the one to Adunze and not need the magic. See, and okay, you're here, you're in field goal, or you're getting close. You want to score a touchdown, obviously, because you're down 5, but you want to not leave Washington any time left on the clock. So I understand not using your timeouts, but you also have to think on offense. Realistically speaking, on a drive like this, you're probably going to need to use at least 1 or 2 of your timeouts. Okay. The fact that the Bears offensively managed to score a touchdown and leave so little time left on the clock, all while not using any of their timeouts, makes their decision to not use any timeouts to make sure they were right defensively all the more baffling. I mean, even if you only had one timeout, you should have used it before the Hail Mary or before the 13-yard gain. But, dude, the fact that y'all are able, a minute and 15 seconds, you choose to run the ball. And on a third down, choose to run the ball. Let the clock run out. No timeouts. Or y'all don't use a timeout. And then you still manage to score, which is impressive. I was talking about this yesterday during the Liverpool match with Adlin, the concept of how veterans will often get the benefit of the doubt in sports. It's the bang bang play, 50-50. It's hard to tell. You kind of assume either the veteran or the all pro did the right thing, and the unknown player probably didn't do the right thing. So let's just give. And so I definitely think Keenan's experience aided in that call. I'm not saying it's a wrong call. I'm just saying at home with the game on the line, if the veteran was the defensive back and the former All Pro, and the receiver was someone you don't know about as much, it might have gone the other way. And then you'll have a great 2-point conversion play. Also, very Chicago Bearsy. Kansas City Chiefs. They didn't invent this play. This was actually New Mexico State started using this play. I want to say in 27. No, San Diego State. The little zone read triple option where you start, boom, DeAndre Swift goes from right to left. You can do it in either direction. It depends on what hash mark you're on. You what's the word I'm looking for? You ride the zone read as long as you can, and then you have the little shuffle pass. Shovel pass. Why couldn't I say shovel there? This is crazy. 12 seconds, no time. I guess the Commanders do have one timeout. Is this the play? No. This is, they use their timeout here. Okay, now they had 5 seconds, no timeout. It's defend the bounce. First off, if I'm Eberflus, see, Tony Romo even knew it. Look how far your defensive back is. It's crazy. I know you're playing prevent D, but bro, they're not going for the end zone on this play. I know he's got a big arm, but that is a cannon. Look at Eberflus. They're already like, whoa, get up. Look, see, Caleb's there. Eberflus is finally starting to wave. Literally, Tony Romo drew the play up on a dot. I fell for y'all, dude. I was rooting for y'all. Actually, no, I was cool with either way. The NFL loves this, right? Keep in mind, this game was flexed. We talked about it. This time slot, the 4:30 nationally televised game, the one that everyone gets it, even if it's not in your region, right? The 4:30 nationally televised game was supposed to be the Eagles and the Bengals, which when you're drawing up the schedule makes sense. Jalen Hurts, Joe Burrow, quarterback mashup. The marketing does itself. But because the Bengals and the Jalen Hurts hadn't looked amazing, the Bengals, Joe Burrow has looked amazing, but the Bengals haven't been good. They flexed the Bengals Eagles game and then put the Bears Washington game at the nationally televised, which is also cool because it's like, yeah, you have the matchup of number one versus number two, the two rookie quarterbacks who have done really well so far, especially Jaden. But to flex Hurts and Burrow out, big move from the NFL. And it's almost, again, script writers, there's a lot of talk of script. It's like, I'm not saying that I believe in that, but this is one of those games. This sequence is where you can, like, remember how I said the NFL official account had Gen Z YouTube titling where it's like all caps and it's like hyperbole, best ending ever, right? It's like exactly what they would have wanted. You flex two known quarterbacks out for the two rookie quarterbacks, and then they give us a game like this. All of a sudden, obviously, the Commanders had only scored 4 field goals. It really wasn't like the quarterbacks put on a display. But you get an ending like this, it's like perfect. And the social medias are blowing up. This is the full game highlight is at 1.2 mil already. I was hoping it would show other games. Like, look, and for comparison, the Detroit Lions, one of the best teams in the NFL, 400K or 500K. Do they show us any other ones? 300K, $500,000. But just for perspective, look, this one crazy ending a year ago, 9.9. This already has 1.1 in 19 hours. Eberflus needs to be fired. What's crazy is I could be wrong. I know you listen to the chatter more, but listen to the chatter of Bears conversation more. But I didn't think he was on the hot seat or like, you know what I mean? Like y'all had a good record. He's on. I think a lot of organizations are now trying to like, for a while in the NFL there was. Okay, not every organization was like the Steelers, where you have longevity with coaches and stability and patience, right? Not every but there was more of that in the past. And then we had a 15-year period where it was like, we need to win now. We need to win now. You get 1 year. You might not even get a full season. You got 3 months, and you're out the door, right? So I think the NFL is coming back to like, let's be a little bit more patient. Let's give them a year or two, right? You couple that with y'all having a winning record. I don't know if Eberflus was on the hot seat, but there are so many fundamental coaching errors that y'all make down the stretch here where it's like you don't want to like overreact to one loss. But some of these are so elementary, the decisions, and the lack of discipline to have players celebrating early and stuff. And then the post-game interview. Oh, yep, that play didn't matter. That shit can have your stock drop in an instant. He is 13-26. I know. It's not been good, but like I'm saying, like my point is that okay, if he's 13-26 after this game, that makes him what 9 and 23 going into this year. So my point is he would have, if you only rewind 2 years ago, 9-23. Going into this season, he would have already been fired. But I think NFL owners are wanting to see a bit more consistency. And this is something I've been talking about for a while, especially in regards to the Lions and the Chiefs. But if you need proof that having stability and having a coaching staff that doesn't get plucked every year, your coordinator's getting plucked, who are arguably the two best teams, if not unarguably the two best teams in the NFL right now? The Chiefs and the Lions. What do they both have in common? Their big three, their head coach, their offensive coordinator, and their defensive coordinator are all back, right? And many people thought the Lions would start losing their coordinators 2 years ago. Everyone for sure thought Ben Johnson, the offensive coordinator for the Lions, basically probably the currently. Sean McVay's still out there, obviously. Andy Reid is maybe the best offensive mind of all time that doesn't get credit. But Ben Johnson's the best play caller in the NFL. Everyone was shocked he didn't get a head coaching gig. So anyways, I just think it's further proof that having that stability is like, you see Steve Spagnuolo, the defensive coordinator for the Chiefs. The defense for the Chiefs is what won them the Super Bowl last year, not Patrick and Travis and all that, right? It was their defense. And so you have arguably the best defensive coordinator, or a better example. The Ravens were also one of the best teams in the NFL last year, right? They had the best defense throughout the regular season. Their defensive coordinator got hired by Seattle, Mike McDonald. Lo and behold, how are the Ravens this year defensively? They're one of the worst teams in the NFL defensively so far. They have blown 3 fourth quarter leads this season alone. And it's like, damn. Now, sometimes teams can just reload. They get a new offense, like they take the linebackers coach who knows a lot about the system. He becomes a great defensive coordinator and replacement. But anyways, rant over. I just think the stability has been shown more and more. You see the Chiefs, they keep Spagnuolo. The defense is still incredible. The Chiefs are 8-0. The Lions managed to keep Aaron Glenn, I think is his name, and Ben Johnson. Lions are as complete of a football team in the NFL. The Ravens lose their defensive coordinator, their defense, and they also lost their leader, right? Last year, their defense was led by Patrick Queen and Roquan Smith. And Patrick Queen was more the signal caller, the leader of them. And he obviously left to my Pittsburgh Steelers, so that plays into it. It's not all coaching, as we know, but anywho. Sorry, he was almost fired before the season. Sorry, I just read that. I know that was 4 minutes ago. You know I got to finish my spill. So, plus, I don't want to be influenced by chat yet. I want to get my raw reaction and then see what chat. Yeah, agreed. The GM had to do a whole press conference on why he didn't fire. Exactly what I was saying. And I think part of that subconsciously is seeing how the chop and change, different new coordinators, new coaches in and out hasn't worked. It hasn't worked for any team that's won the Super Bowl, I don't think. I mean, even I guess the closest example would maybe be the Eagles when they won in 2017, but that Doug Peterson, that was his second year there, I think. Billy Belichick is a free agent. Ben was offered 2 jobs but turned them down. You're like, sorry, I didn't clarify. You're absolutely right. He had opportunities, probably 2 definitive offers to be a head coach. But that's one of the things you will sometimes see it in college, not so much now with the portal, but the concept of like teams growing together, right? I love what Ben Johnson did. He saw they got to the NFC Championship game and almost beat the 49ers in their backyard. And like, it's so dope to me that instead of just chasing the status of a head coaching gig, he also saw, dude, we have built something. We have a good core. They're all coming back. The coaching staff's coming back. Like, you know what I'm saying? I really respect that, where he's like, I want to try to go do one better. I want to go do, like, we made it the NFC Championship. Let's build on what we did. I think that shit's so dope. Is this injury streamable? Like, is this against TOS? Oh, I don't know if I want to watch a neck injury. I don't want to watch it on stream for sure. I'll watch this off stream. No, I don't want to do it. I don't even like that look right there. Damn, his little video profile. You were saying something. It was one play. He only got one play. Oh no, he scored on a 59-yard bomb. He has touchdown highlights here. Oh, sorry. What did you say earlier about him? Boo. Okay, fine. I'll watch. Man, I don't like neck injuries. But do we got a quarterback here? Don't tell me 12. Is that Cutler? No. Cutler was 2. I actually don't remember. 12 could have been Cutler. Brian Hoyer. No, he was a Brown. Dude, the Browns and the Bears have each had an entire phone book of quarterbacks this millennia alone. He is fine now? Okay, that's better. Six, yeah, okay. I didn't, I thought I was pretty certain Cutler was a single digit number. 12, Rex Grossman? Or was he four? Mike Glennon, maybe? What was Rex Grossman? Oh no, 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 no! I see why you reference this now. It's the specific nature of being hurt in the maelstrom of a fumble recovery, right? That's why you brought it up specifically. Oh, dude, my delay must be good because you answered that within 3 or 4 seconds. Um, dude, I already don't want to see it. Him diving like that and the other person. Honestly, you see that happen a lot. That kind of die, like not even in a tackle, but that and the next spin, and you're surprised it doesn't end up more. That's good to see him rolling around though. Him not immediately go into what do they call that? The fencing pose. Oh, what is there a worse safety for a receiver to potentially have to collide with in the history of the NFL than Cam Chancellor? That dude is an actual linebacker back there at safety. Caleb Haney. It is a great throw, stuck right on time. Cam Chancellor punches it out. Oh, never mind. He doesn't collide with Cam, but what a play from Cam. Oh! Oh my God, dude, dude, dude. Okay, you know in Star Wars, the fourth one, aka the first one, A New Hope, okay? You know how Obi-Wan lets himself die and then he fades and then the clothes kind of fold and there's nothing there and it's just clothes folding? That's what looks like happened to the top half of this gentleman. Dude, that almost looks like a skull. Look at that. You see what I'm saying? That like, kind of looks like legit a skull has developed right there. Bro, he is folded. That's so bad. I don't know why I had it pause so long. Ah, bro. So this is a different like so this is him going this and then that. The for y'all's it was what made me look really scary is but I'm not saying one's the other. This one's obviously freakishly bad. But with your guys, the way his leg was caught, I just imagined him getting like again in like Mortal Kombat, one of the fatalities, you know, they might split the enemy and you see the intestines. That's what I visualized for a moment with y'all's offensive lineman last night. I was like, dude, if he keeps bending back, like his skin's just gonna I don't know how that works. I'm like, his skin's just gonna rip. Oh, dude, that one's bad. That one's bad. Did you see the ending to the Ravens where's it at? The Browns game ended really great as well. Um, the Ravens were up. The Jameis Winston almost threw a. So he ended the game with no interceptions, but he almost threw an abysmal interception, like just an inexcusable throw. And then as inexcusable as his throw was in terms of like what the fuck, Kyle Hamilton, who's all pro caliber, has the freest interception and he drops it. So you full worked yesterday? Heard that? Dude, look at the ending of this. So Jameis Winston started. Can we skip? Dude, the NFL is ruthless with their ads. My boy Debo, that's a Gamecock. Okay. Hold on. Instead of being on Silent Hill, let me be on sports. Just gonna go do a full NFL review right now. Maybe not every team. Hold on, I'll make my camera bigger so it's more transformative. Bateman, speaking of drops that cost the Ravens, Bateman had, spoiler alert, also dropped one. I actually respect that we're seeing more and more players wear the Guardian cap. Oh, that's how you deliver. Oh, no, he did it. Bro, I mean, when you hit Derrick Henry like that, I guess if ever there's a time to do it, but he just hit Derrick Henry with the too small celly. I didn't even see that. Ooh, I mean, that's a good hit. He hit him with the too small. Please tell me he gets ran over later. Please tell me he gets ran over later. Dude, Jordan Love, one of my two fantasy quarterbacks, only 6 points, and I had Bo Nix with 29 on the bench. Isaiah, dude, the NFL and their ads. See, it's also moments like this is like, if I watch the ads and have the audio, you shouldn't copyright strike me. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sharing the ads for you. I'm helping. Oh, that should have been a false start. This has been a problem the last 2 seasons in the NFL. Look at the left tackle. Talk about a head start. And he still loses the duel. But he's short. All right, let's skip a little ahead. Safe light repair. Fourth quarter, down 3. Oh, Lamar just gets that off. Bateman, damn. So we had 2 drops in the fourth quarter. Did he miss this one too? I think it's official to say. So Justin Tucker is the best kicker of all time, but he is no longer the best kicker in football, and probably hasn't been for the last 2 seasons. Because last year you would say, off the top of my head, Brandon Aubrey from the Cowboys, Chris Boswell from the Steelers, um, Harrison Bucker, and then he's got a booming leg, but he's a bit inconsistent. What a throw by Lamar. Bateman's all the sun. The sun got me. Cameron Dicker the kicker, has a booming leg, but he's inconsistent. So I would say Brandon Aubrey, Chris Boswell, Harrison Bucker, all deserve to be up there. Dude, that's such a dude. Look at that throw from Lamar. He launches it from his 10. We'll call it 11. It's really 10 more. I mean, 11. Bateman's at the 35. So that's what, 15. Hold on. First off, that's 39 and then 15, 54 yards. Hold on. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Timeout. Okay, Robbie Gould is up there, but I mean, I think Justin Tucker is probably. I mean, he has so many records. Whether it's consistency, whether it's accuracy over distance. Trust me, I don't want to give a Raven that credit. Um, and Chris Boswell has been incredible for us. Let's just look at his numbers. Ooh, all right, let's finish this, and we're gonna look at his numbers. But let's 54-yard throw on his mouth. And Bateman, oh, the sun. Dude, you know they're talking shit to him right there. All 3 of them, like, ha ha, sucks to suck. So again, Jameis has a terrible throw that should have been picked, and then he has a great throw. That's a phenomenal throw. That is a incredible throw. I don't like how they don't show any replays, even on the really big dope plays on their YouTube. I think I fucked up. I went too far. Oh well. And by the way, if I was forced to list a couple of the kickers that I would say is considered as the GOAT, Robbie Gould would have been one of them. Morton Anderson, or is it Gary Anderson? There's two Andersons, both incredible. I think Gary is actually the one I'm thinking of. Gary Anderson, Robbie Gould, Justin Tucker would have been up there. Um, but Justin Tucker's the GOAT. But again, dude, Boswell makes some. Uh, I don't think Janikowski had like the accuracy over a career. Like I don't know if he was in the upper 80s kind of thing. I think he was more. We all know him because he, as far as I can remember, the the first kicker who truly had a booming leg, right? And I've talked about this on stream before. What the standard of field goal has been, right? Like if you go back decades in the NFL, anything like basically you would say my NFL kicker should make most 90% of field goals within 40, like initially it probably would have been 43 yards. When I was younger, like if we go back to the early 2000s, late 90s, it was 45 yards. Your kicker 45 yards, anything before they should make. Anything after make a 48, yeah, it probably should, but you can't get too critical. Anything past 50, if they didn't make it, that's you're it's just a cherry on the top. Like you even attempting it, you didn't really expect to make it that often, right? Then kickers like Janikowski kind of scaled up the range that we expect them to be made from. Plus, he was obviously a hefty lad who smoked cigarettes and stuff. A good old school footballer. But you should, and we've talked about that. Nowadays, you would say that an NFL kicker should make anything from 50 or in front, right? And anything after 54ish, you completely absolve them. If they miss a 54 yarder or longer, can't hate on them, right? If it's 49 and a half or less, they should make. And then if it's 51 to 54, it's like you could make it. But anyways, I will give credit to Janikowski for being that kind of kicker. He definitely was that booming leg. That's a great throw too. But dude, Boswell hits 50 yarders regularly. He's like 88-ish%. He's up there in the percentiles in terms of 40 yarders or closer. And that includes 49 yarders, not my 45 parameter. Oh, likely. Go to likely. They're looking for likely on the wheel route. That's a great last decision. This play is a Sean McVay staple. Okay. We've seen it permeate. Um, where you have the running back or the tight end do a wheel route out of motion here. So notice 80 likely. You have the switch releases to get your run through zone defenders to go with. And then that leaves that pickle for the nickel back there. Pickle for the nickel. And then you have the linebacker who needs to flare horizontally. But the Browns actually do it really well. But when you go that far horizontally, you leave a great shifty little slot receiver like Zay Flowers to now that's not his route. That's now the end of the route breaking and kind of freestyling. And then great throw back across the grain there. Ooh, a right on? Yes, please. Okay, after this highlight, we're gonna look at the Boswell. Oh my god. Chris Boswell stats. Derrick Henry, you're not stopping that. Great slant. Okay. I think this is where the throw, the almost, if you're there. No, that's another good throw. Jerry Judy. It's got to be one of these coming up. I think it's this one, and then they score on fourth down, maybe. No, damn. It's crazy how many plays can happen in the final few minutes. Final minute, really. This one's it. Oh, they didn't show it. Wow. Okay, so play right before this, Jameis Winston has one of the easiest interceptions Kyle Hamilton will have, and he drops it. It's not even contested with the like receiver. He just drops it, and then Jameis Winston with a beautiful ball over the top. Gorgeous ball, dude. Okay, we're in Chris Boswell. Then I'm gonna pull up. Let's see. Look at this career 88 percenter. Right now, that was a bad year, and I think we actually dropped him and then wound up bringing him back or something. But then, dude, after that year, 93, 95, 90, 71. But look at like of his 8 misses, 5 of them are 40 yarders and 2 of them are 50 yarders. Long 59. He's hit 59 multiple times. Um, where is it at? He's missed 15 extra points in his whole life or his whole career with us. But dude, these last, and again, in fairness to my Boswell comment, I didn't say that Boswell has been one of the best for his whole time with us. If you remember, I actually used the 2-year parameter. I said Justin Tucker, to me, is the greatest of all time, but he's not been the best over the last 2 years. Brandon Aubrey, and I said Boswell, 93 and a half. Dude, he has missed 3 field goals in our last 24 games. That punt, though, it honestly was huge. That was the game that we beat. Damn, who was it? Our punter got hurt. We might have lost that and got shafted. Anyways, yeah, our punter got hurt and he has to come and punt. But you can't deny that. Look at 3 field goals missed. He's made 48 out of his last 51. And here's the kicker. Pun intended. I'm doing the math right? Yeah. Of the 3 that he missed, 2 of them are 50 yarders or more. So within 50 yards, he is 48 for 49. That'd be cool if it showed an average distance of the field goals, right? But anywho, yeah, dude. 1 field goal miss within 50 yards. 3 missed in the last, and that's with 14. What's the quick math? That's a third. A third of his total attempts. He has 51 attempts in the last 2 years. A third of them are hold on, I gotta change playlist. I didn't even realize the music wasn't going. Sorry. A third, 14 out of 51, 28. Okay, it's a little less than a third. It's more like a quarter. Like a quarter-ish of his total attempts were 50 yarders or more, and he still has that accuracy. Would you, Matchy? I haven't heard anything. You've been awfully quiet. You even joked about leaving for my Boswell. I know you. You know I'm a Steelers fan, and we all know that bias can creep in. But I think you know me well enough to know that I'm pretty damn objective and pretty unbiased. And I wouldn't include Boswell if I didn't know. Like I didn't know it was this good. I just know watching a Steelers game that anytime he goes up to kick it, I expect it to go in, and that's like all you want. And when he doesn't make it, you're like, wow, that's crazy. And again, if you go back to the little parameters I said earlier, where modern day footballers expect their kicker to make everyone in front of 50, and then after 50, you're like, he nails it. All right, sweet, sounds good. That 1 punt though, so true. He's got a couple dude. He's got 7 tackles. He's even got a completion for a touchdown. He's the GOAT. I'm sorry, I take it back. Chris Boswell's the best kicker of all time. What does Justin Tucker have a touchdown thrown? He doesn't have a punt. He hasn't even completed a pass, let alone scored thrown a touchdown. He has one more tackle than Boswell does. No completions, no touchdowns, no punts. Okay, he's a lifetime 89.7 with almost a fifth of his total. Being from far. All right, the 86. Of course, look at the longevity though. I mean, played for 17 seasons. A little below Boswell in terms of field goal percentage, but Boswell's also attempted less. Robbie Gould with 5 punts, 13 tackles, played more seasons. Also not completed a pass. Now, here's the thing. Like, if you go back to these 2 seasons for Robbie Gould, I think that gets close, or even these 3. Oh my God, he went 10. Well, that's only 10 attempts. If you go back to these, that's about how deep into Chris Boswell's career we are now for like relative perspective. And so he went bonkers around this stage of his career too. Okay, but he has 36. He's 36 out of 51 from 50 plus. Granted, different era of kicker. I talked about that earlier. Yeah, they have the same amount made from far, but Robbie's taken 7 more. 66 for 66 within 30 yards. That's pretty good. He only ever missed 2 of them. And one of them was in his final year. That's probably when he's like, all right, Robbie, now it's time to hang it up. If I can't make it within 30, it's time to hang it up. I haven't even looked at extra points, but he missed 16 in his career. Chris Boswell has missed 15 with half his Lenny. So Chris Boswell is much worse at extra points than Robbie Gould was. All right, anyways. All right, I'm going to put on another highlight, and then I'm going to go grab a little snacky poo. Again, earlier I was talking about the numbers that the official highlight video already had 1.2 million and how much that is compared to others. Even the ending video has more than a lot of like other game videos. We'll do the Cardinals. Let me skip. Well, fairness. Okay, 2 things. One, you have a good point with the Windy City. Until I remember a conversation that you and I had last football season, and you told me that despite it being the Windy City, and yes, you get winds swirling off of Lake Michigan there, it's not as like bad for kicking as you would think, given the the notoriety of the Windy City name. Um, regardless, okay, that's one thing. I might be wrong. Even if the Chicago's Soldier Field is really hard to kick in, the Steelers stadium, even going back to when we were in obviously we were in Heinz Field and it got renamed to Acrisure. Before Heinz Field, we were in Three Rivers Stadium. Both of them were known as one of the hardest places to kick in general, even kickoffs, because you have, as we know, anytime you have bodies of water, you get gusts of wind. So Lake Michigan for you guys, Pittsburgh, as the name of the stadium alludes to, there's three rivers. I don't know all of them. One of them's the Allegheny, but there are three rivers, and basically Heinz Field sits in like this confluence of three. So it's not just gusty winds; it's often inconsistent. Like if you look at like a kicker can pick up the grass and do this, and it's gusting one direction, and then a couple minutes later, 15 seconds later, they look at the flag at the top of the post, and it's going a second direction, and then by the time they actually go to kick it, it's a third. It's now shown three different gust directions. So long story short, if kicking conditions was a factor for Gold, it's also for Boswell because Pittsburgh is also known to be hard to kick in. Okay, I'll be back. I'm gonna go make a quick little sandwich. Hey, yo, uh, quality ad. Yo, if you were gonna stream, what time were you thinking about? Okay. I just because part of I got downstairs and I realized I don't have any bread to make a sandwich real quick. I got a Sam's order in the work, so I'm gonna go by there. But all right, then I might end stream. That way I can just hang out in your stream, and then I'll start back up my stream sometime after you end. Because I'm definitely streaming tonight for the Steelers Giants game. I was probably gonna go live if it starts at 8 ish. I'll probably go live at 7 ish to play some Silent Hill. Does that sound good? That work? No bread, dude, for real. Very sad. I wanted a quick little PB and J, I think, or maybe a little turkey and ranch and cheese and whatnot. So yeah, with that said, I'm gonna end stream and then